Hello, this is Kid55 coming at you live over the internets, and today we're going to do another developer commentary of Chapter 3 of my RMS Titanic campaign. So let's begin. Chapter 3, if you remember in the old version, it was kind of you went back and forth through first class, eventually making your way back up to the boat deck and by the bridge, the captain's room to be more specific. With version 2.0, I wanted to keep the same basic pathway, but I wanted to make it longer, and I wanted you to visit more of the ship. Same with Chapter 2. In Chapter 3, you visit a lot more locales, for example, the Parisian Cafe, Alakarte restaurant, just other stuff too. You'll see here.
Pan.
This music right here, my favorite music from Adventure Out of Time, the B-Deck Cafe Parisienne music. I'm not sure I'll say that actually. Very depressing music. Well, not all the music is depressing, but just this one specifically is the most depressing. So let me grab my health kit and let's begin. So if you remember in version, prior to version 2.0, you started off, Chapter 2 ended with you in a first-class cabin. Well, for this one I didn't want it to be, well, I wanted to save resources because I didn't want to render the whole grand staircase, so I pushed the safe room back a deck, down a deck I mean, and back to the pantry. Doing that, removed the second crescendo event from Chapter 2, and made Chapter 3 a lot longer. If you remember in the old version, this used to be a crescendo event in Chapter 2. Version 2.0, that was completely removed. This is also not my favorite campaign, or my chapter, I mean, but my favorite is the finale, first off, but this is the first, I don't know, this is one of my favorite, probably my second favorite chapter, just because it's a lot more open, there's just a lot more, it's a lot longer, there's more for you to do, and you get to go out on the boat deck too. We'll see that in a little bit. So now we're in the first class dining saloon. Pretty photorealistic. I didn't really, the chairs and tables are hard to do, because Valve doesn't have the absolute right chairs and tables that the Titanic had. However, I thought this was the best substitute. Always want to check this middle table. There's always going to be an upgrade, and a weapon. Also, check around these tables. You know, there could be throwables. However, since I've been playing this game, there really hasn't been that many throwables. I don't see anything. Also, I will let you in on chainsaw. I will let you in on the biggest exploit, not exploit, but biggest Easter egg, I guess. Easter egg. I will let you in on the biggest Easter egg on this entire campaign, because there's actually a lot of Easter eggs that a lot of people aren't catching, because they're pretty tough to find. First thing, if you remember in Chapter 2, I said hit the pianos. Well, not in Chapter 2 because that one spawned a tank. In this one, it does seemingly nothing. But you will see later in the chapter that it does something very, I think it's probably named it. It does something that's very useful. It's effective. Now we're working our way into the reception room. And you see your another piano. You notice these infected. Oh, even. What I was gonna say was, you notice all the infected are dressed in like suits and tuxedos and stuff, sort of to portray a richer class of zombies, I guess. Richer class of people.
I'm a reload.
Yeah. So what you're gonna want to do is hit this piano. And you gotta hit them in order too. You gotta hit the one in the first class dining saloon first, and then this one second. You see the grand staircase, you can't really go up it. Can't go through here.
Through here.
So we'll work our way into the forward first class staterooms on D deck. This game, jockeys are a pain to avoid because it seems like they can jump really far for,
Reloading.
you know, just hopping along.
Up that ramp.
So you're probably asking yourself, why is this ramp here on like Titanic? No, it should be Titanic's it looks clean and all that. Well, imagine someone like blew a hole in the floor or something because they were trying to avoid, you know, like threw a pipe bomb or something, or made a bomb. You know, just use your imagination. I wanted it to appear like the ship has been, you know, the ship has been overrun by zombies and people were doing anything they can to get out, blowing holes in the floor, in the decks, and in the walls and stuff.
Reloading.
So now we're coming up to the first dynamic pathway in this chapter. Oh wow, I walked right into that. There are 4 dynamic pathways
Reloading.
on this chapter. You could either go left or right, as noted by the arrows. But first off, you want to go to the purser's office, or inquiry office as it says, but it's purser's office. Usually like a first aid kit in here or something, ammo, shotgun, I don't know. Heal up if you need to. I don't really need to. So choose your path. Luckily for us, this path is, well, it's blocked, but we can go this way.
Reloading.
Once again, the premise for each of these chapters is to go to the other side, of the ship and up, if you ever get lost. And follow the light. You know, if it's dark, then that's probably somewhere where you shouldn't be, or where you shouldn't be going.
Reloading.
Look out! I'm a reload.
You see down here, this path is blocked. However, conveniently placed to my left, or straight ahead, is a room that you can take.
Can you stop shooting me?
Nope.
I'm reloading. Careful. The hunters around.
So right now I believe we're in the stewards. Yeah, the stewards dining saloon on C deck.
Reloading.
Now we're in the first class aft grand staircase on C deck.
Heads up.
You'll notice the tile here is the tile they use on the ship, something I designed myself, or I made myself. I didn't design it, but something I made myself. It's the real tile for the most part. I mean, there was other decorations, but you can't. I wasn't able to do that. Just go through these doors, either door, and clear out the zombies. For items, I don't know if the gas tank's gonna be really useful right now, but and you're gonna want to go up this ladder. Check back here too. There might be a zombie or, you know, any kind of item, but nope. Look out into the ocean and make your way up these ladders.
Boomer.
There we go. Right now we're in the Alakarte restaurant on B deck. Something completely new to 2.0. This originally was going to be another spot for dynamic pathways, but I just decided to, you know, you can choose your own way. So both ways are open. You can go left, or you can go right through there into the Cafe Parisienne, whatever. Forgive me for saying that.
Reloading.
I saw something back here. Is it? Someone must have picked it up. So let's go through the cafe. Check back here. Take this eagle. This is a very another very photorealistic part of the ship, the Cafe Parisier, just because well, I spent a lot of time with this room, and I wanted to utilize it somehow. Holy zombies! Whoop! Nice.
Watch out!
Reloading.
Sounds like they're coming from in front of us. Oh!
Oh, I got hit by burning goo shit. Get out of this bitter goo. Gotta reload. Hey, I'm reloading.
So, same as before version 2.0, you'd go through here. Oh, nice.
Reloading!
No time to be gentle. Let's get you up on your feet.
Thanks, man. I owe you.
So you want to go through here? And this is the second site for dynamic pathways. You could either go straight, or you can go left. Looks like we're going to have to go left, but I think this is blocked up here. Yeah, that's blocked.
I'm reloading.
Oops.
Reloading.
Reloading.
Now this right here is the private promenade. If you've seen the movie, that's where Rose stayed. Rose and her fiance Cal. That's where. That's also the scene in the movie. Actually, it's on the other side of the ship, I think. Yeah. Let me just go over there.
Reloading.
It's kind of dark, but this is the room in front of me where Cal slapped Rose, or not slapped her. It's where he had like his, where he just got really angry and like flipped the table, and Rose started crying.
Reloading.
If you remember that scene. So now we move up the grand staircase up to A deck, and you know what? Our third and final piano that we need to hit is right up there. A lot of people will miss this. What the heck?
Nice shot.
A lot of people will miss this. Make sure you hit them in order once again, although it's hard to go back and hit them out of order, but check for items. You know, they could be even back here on the boat deck. There were a few rooms the first class shared on the boat deck, and they were back here. Oh, there's no doors. Oh, there's doors on this side. So back down. Now we gotta make our way into the next crescendo event, the third crescendo event of this campaign, in the first class lounge. Actually, it'd be smart to check the reading and writing room first. Yeah, reading and writing room.
Reloading.
Check for weapons, items. Now, there's a lot of throwables on this chapter now. So you're probably asking yourself, what do these three pianos that I hit do? Yeah, what do these three pianos that I hit do? Well, here's your answer. Open this door to the closet, and open that door. And see for yourself.
Laser sight. Great shot.
Plenty of items, plenty of weapons. In fact, I'm gonna.
I'm taking the big gun.
Reloading.
I'm not gonna take a defib, but let's see here.
Reloading.
Yeah, so a cornucopia of weapons, essentially,
First
and
aid kit
items
here.
awaits you if you press those three pianos. By the way, the third crescendo event, just a normal crescendo. You just wait it out, and these doors will open. Just simple, really simple crescendo. Just you only have 2 doors to watch from. I don't think they spawn to the right. They might. It's also smart. Maybe even throw a Molotov, because that's where they're gonna spawn, somewhere through that door. If you do that, they won't come after you, and you just sit here pretty much.
Taken care of. First aid. Kicked it.
God damn, you're good.
Hunter.
That charger just try to charge through the wall? Oh, yeah, he did. You're probably also asking yourself, why do these lights go out? These doors open, by the way. The lights go out basically because I want to make this a little bit scarier, a little more challenging. I figured if the lights go out, you know, it would do just that. And I mean, it works for the most part, but once again, you could just do what I did and throw a Molotov and not even have to worry about the crescendo. I'm gonna use this pistol, conserve ammo. We still got a ways to go onto the first class after grand staircase on A deck into the first class smoking room. This floor was also custom designed by me. Oh wait, no. This was the only custom floor that I used from an outside source, I think. Yeah. But most of the floors were designed by me. I hear a tank somewhere. And I can't even think of the gentleman who designed this. I should have cited it, but I forgot to, and I'm sorry. If you're watching this video, well then, feel good for yourself, I guess. And there's the tank. I use my Molotov too. Tank's just smashing up the, what's that called? Is it the Veranda Cafe? Let me find a weapon. It looks like I'm using a pistol. So now we're making our way onto the port side A deck promenade.
Reloading.
These boxes were put here just because I didn't want it to just be a straight run. I wanted like stuff to spawn behind it and everything. I wanted to make it longer. Once again, just, you know, make it so that you couldn't just see all the way down and infected wouldn't be able to spawn. I wanted it to be a little bit more tough. I also wanted to make it a little bit more tough, more applicable for versus. Once again, infected can spawn behind here. You also see that these windows are lit up. I wanted to, once again, it's just I wanted to make it more realistic because, you know, all the lights were on inside the ship, and I figured, well, let's just leave the lights on, and I've got to make it look like it's on from outside, and you'll see here in a little bit more of the lights.
I'm reloading.
Once again, these are all the lights that were actually on the ship. This is what the windows look like. Well, yeah, these are what the windows look like. All these windows were here. Here's the
Reloading.
first class grand staircase, forward one.
Reloading.
That door didn't take long to break.
Reloading.
So here comes the tricky part of this chapter, navigating up these stairs here. Probably a bunch of infected. Yep, there's a bunch of infected up there.
I'm reloading.
Always check down there. So here's the outside of the ship. Obviously the first thing I worked on when I started doing version 2.0.
Reloading.
In the background you'll hear sounds like you're kind of on an ocean, or like it's cold and it's windy. So, you know, you're up on the ship in the middle of the ocean. Something I added.
Reloading here.
Soundscapes, I guess they're called. Yeah, soundscapes.
I'm a reloading.
Always make sure you when you're going into that door right there, watch yourself, because something like this. Well, no,
In
hunter
here.
spawned, but usually a charger will spawn right here, and this was completely intentional. I wanted a charger to spawn and get people who rushed, and they would knock them off the ship, and you see the water just glitch there. Something I don't know how to fix, unfortunately. But yeah, it'll charge them off, and it'll ruin your day, because that's all the way at the end of this chapter. Also, did it just spawn there? Also, in previous, before 2.0, this used to be the safe room, this room right here, and you got out like right here. But I wanted to make the room a little bigger,
Boomer.
so I used the wheelhouse. And that'll do it for Chapter 3.
Oh,
So once
hell
again, thanks
yes!
for watching. If you like my video, please like. If you want to see more Left 4 Dead videos, or more videos in general, just subscribe to my videos. I'm going to be doing one on the finale. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.